Congratulations and thank you very much for purchasing your new HRV eHev, the hybrid powered brand new HRV. So in this video what we're going to show you is a little bit of information to help the handover of the vehicle so that you can really maximise your benefit out of this car. So we're going to take various features and some of the things that we can actually tailor to your specific needs, as I say, so that you can get the very best out of this vehicle. Now we'll look at some features from the outside and also the inside, but of course we need to get inside the vehicle first. Now the car is locked and we have a couple of ways we can get into it. So I do have the key in my pocket and I can simply press the unlock button on my key fob and it will unwind the door mirrors and allow me to get into the vehicle. And when inside I can just press the power button and the power will be on to the vehicle. And of course the flip side of that is closing the car, press the lock button, and it will wind those door mirrors in for us. However, because they benefit from the keyless access system, we don't necessarily have to have the key in our hand. So as we can tell, the car is locked, but I have the key in my pocket in the detection zone. All I need to do is put my hand in behind the door handle and you'll actually hear it unlock. You also see the door mirror unwind. So now we can get into the car just as before, but without needing to take the key out of our pocket, handbag, purse, wherever. Now to lock it, this time, we just need to put a little bit of contact over those three ridges on top of the door handle, and I can also check that the door is indeed locked. After about 3 to 5 seconds, as soon as I put my hand in, it will unlock that door for me. So there are a couple of ways that we can actually gain access to the car and get ready to drive it away. Now, if you actually have a flat battery in your remote, then what you can do is take out the blade and pop it into the door lock on the driver's side to manually get into the vehicle. And of course, if you did have a flat battery, the alarm's going to be going off. All you do is you hold that key fob over the power button to actually allow you to start the car and carry on your journey and also take the alarm off. So now we're at the back of the car, we've undone the fuel flap, we've done the little lever inside the driver's footwell area so we can open up this, undo our fuel cap, and we have a nice little storage area on here so we can just pop it inside there so that when we're fueling up the cap's not banging across the bodywork. And of course when we're done, just pop it back in and you can't over tighten it because it has a ratchet system. You know that's done, and then of course you can close it. Nice and simple. Then when we make our way to the back of the vehicle, we're going to open the tailgate. Now because I have the key in my pocket, I can actually use the hands-free operation. So imagine I've got my shopping or luggage in my hands, I can actually just wave my foot underneath the tailgate and it will open up nicely for me. Now, this has been set to a lower position, so imagine for a moment if you were going to store the car in your garage but you've got a low roof. Well, we can actually adjust how high the tailgate goes purely by lowering it down or pushing it up. So we'll push it up now into its highest position, and then all we do to set it is press and hold this button for a little while. We get two little beeps just to confirm that it's now set. So in a moment I'll close it and reopen it just so you can see what height it goes to. But while we're in the boot area, you see just behind here is where the toolkit, like the temporary repair kit, just in case you get a puncture. But of course I'd always recommend call out your roadside assistance to do that for you. So now to close the tailgate, let's just do the hands-free operation. That will close down for us, and the next time we open it, just show a varied way to open it. We can use the little handle just underneath, little micro switch underneath there will open that for us. You'll see it goes right the way to the top. So now we can get our luggage out, we can do whatever we want to, and of course we used that button before. But now what we can do, we have this walk away close feature. So because I'm in the detection zone and because I have the key in my pocket, you have to have that on your person. You can press this button top right hand corner, it will go green, and I've now got maybe 2 seconds, 20 seconds, it doesn't matter how long, to actually walk away from the car, providing I've got the key in my pocket. It will detect when I'm actually out of its detection zone, and I could be now in my hallway, my porchway, or just walking down the road, and it's actually closed and potentially, if that was the only thing that we'd opened, locked the car for me. Now we're inside, let's take a look at some of the controls that you're going to be using first time you drive the vehicle. So just behind the steering wheel we have two stalks. On my left hand side are the ones for the lights and the indicators. Now the default position for the lights is in auto, so that means you don't have to worry about anything. The daylight sensors will automatically put the headlights on for you, and in the right situation it will actually put on full beam for you as well, because we have high beam support system. If for any reason you wanted to turn the headlights off, you can just simply rotate the little end cap there to the off position. If you wanted fixed side lights, you'd rotate up, and if you wanted fixed dip beam, you'd go one position further. But I think for most people, certainly myself, I'd just leave it in the auto position and the car looks after everything for me. If for any reason you want to go full beam, you would just push the stalk away from you and then pull that towards you. If you want to let somebody know your road presence, you can just pull it towards you for a quick flash of full beams. Now, something we're going to be using an awful lot, of course, is the indicators. Now, if you push it very slightly, you'll feel a little bit of resistance. That's where the car will go into its indicating 3 times for you, and then it will self-cancel. If you wanted to have them on for a longer duration, you just push it past that resistance, and of course you can then cancel it, or the steering lock would cancel it for you. Now the stalk on the right hand side of the steering wheel is for the wipers. So if I just turn the wheel a little bit here, we're in the off position now. If I just wanted a single wipe of the windscreen, I can push it into the mist position and it will clear the screen for me there and then. If I pop it down one position, that's into the auto position. That's where I personally prefer it to be, because the rain sensor is then going to look at how much water's on the screen and how quickly it needs to wipe the screen. And I do have some control over that on how sensitive I want it to be. Less sensitive or more sensitive. Midpoint is good for me. If I wanted it in a fixed low position, I just push it one more position down, and for high it will be right the way to the bottom. I'm going to leave it into auto, and if I wanted to get a squirt of water on the windscreen, some nice screen wash on there, I'd just pull that towards myself. Now on the end cap we actually have the controls for the rear wiper. So again we've got the default off position. First click is for the intermittent wipe of the rear screen. Then the next one is a fixed on position, and then I can rotate it a little bit further on the sprung part of the control there, which will give me a squirt of screen wash on the rear screen. So let's turn that one back to the off position. To go through some of the steering wheel controls, we're going to pop the car into accessory position. So in order to do that, they're all keyless access on these vehicles. So the key's inside here. I'm going to press my power button twice, and the car is in accessory position now. So on the steering wheel, working from the left to the right hand side, we have our volume controls over here. So we can obviously increase or decrease those. Then we have this roller system here and home. So we can show you a little bit closer on the kind of screens that we've got in there. In fact, let's do that now for you. So with this little home button here, we can actually influence what we see on the TFT screen in front of us. So at the moment, we've got the power meter, so we can see if we've got charge being put into the battery, the needle will go into the green, and when we're using power, the needle would go into the blue. So if we just press the home button, what we can see there is we've got the power and charge, we've got power flow. That's a nice one where we can see where the power's being taken from. When we're driving, we'd see power going to the road wheels as well, and we get an indication of what sort of state of charge is in the electric battery there as well. We have range and fuel, so we can see how many miles is left in the tank and the most recent fuel economy figures. Then we've got speed and time, we have our audio, we have any phones that are attached to the vehicle, we have our navigation, speed alarms for instance. If we just click on that one, we can see that we could have speed alarms set for, in this case, 30 and 50, but they've actually been turned off, so it's not going to beep at us as we're driving along. Navigation, I didn't really show you that one, but if we've got a destination set in through our car's navigation, it will give you turn by turn. When there's not a destination set in, you get the compass icon there. Seat belts, it will give us information who's wearing belts in the vehicle. Safety support, so there's another way you can actually access this, but this is where we can actually see what features we've got on the vehicle. So we scroll up and down there and we can turn on or off our road departure mitigation. or indeed on this particular car, because we have blind spot information, we have that also. We have low speed braking control, collision mitigation braking system as well. If we wanted to turn them off, we'd just press the little button there, but of course I want to keep myself as safe as possible, so I'm going to pop that back on. Back on the home button, we can customize the displays. So if we wanted to select any of the particular features that we either did or didn't want on there, you can actually just select them, maybe take them off if you want to, and then they'll no longer be on that little list for you. Then information, our very last one, tells us, of course, we're not going anywhere, so we'd need to push the brake pedal and push the power button to start us on. So moving along from there, just above the home button, we have our speech button. So we could be talking to the car for various functions to operate, or we could be, when we've paired a phone, using our Google Assistant or Siri to actually allow some of those phone features to work as well. And we've got skipping forwards and skipping backwards on the tracks that we might be listening to for audio. Right in the centre, that's where our horn is. So we've got that nice and central. Now we're on the right hand side of the steering wheel. This is where we'll find some of the extra safety features that we have within Honda Sensing. So we have speed limiter, intelligent speed limiter and cruise control all through that button there. But to operate those, first of all, we need to press this button here. Now we've done that, we can actually cycle through our intelligent limiter that's there, our cruise control, and our regular speed limiter. So I could set that to 40 or 50 or 30 miles an hour, and I can do that by using the set and the plus and minus buttons over there. My personal favourite though is the intelligent speed limiter, because this uses the most recently seen speed limit that was at the side of the road on the traffic sign, and it will take that and limit my accelerating speed up to that point once I've pressed the set button. So from that we can see that the sign it saw was 40 miles an hour. The intelligent limiter icon has gone green, so it's ready and it's active. So unless I go full throttle, I'm not going to accelerate past 40 miles an hour. A lovely peace of mind feature. If at any point I want to cancel those, I can just press the cancel button fairly much in the centre there. Just below that we have our lane keeping assist system. So this is the part of the system that uses the painted lines on the road, and through torque through the steering it will help to keep me centred. So I've got less driving fatigue, and it will also help control me a little bit so I don't make those unintentional exits from the lane, because if I move lane without indicating, it'll give me a little bit of steering input to say, did you mean to make that manoeuvre? So a real great feature. This little one here is about the distance we want for the adaptive cruise control between me and the vehicle in front. So we can have roughly, for argument's sake, like a 1.5 or a 2 second gap between me and the vehicle in front. And it's using the camera at the top to keep me that safe distance. So I can just press those buttons on there, and of course when we're active and we're driving, we can increase or decrease that distance between me and the vehicle in front. Just below that, nice simple one, love this, it's the heated steering wheel, keeping me nice and toasty in those winter months. So to keep us the ideal temperature inside the car, this is where we'll find the controls for heating. So right in the centre we have the on-off button for the fan, and you'll see everything illuminates. So if we work from one side to the other, let's go through all of the different buttons on there and what they're going to offer for you. So on the extreme left we have the heated seat button for the passenger. 3 levels, let's turn that off, there's nobody there, let's not be wasteful. Then we have the sync button. So this is illuminated green now, which means that the driver and the passenger's temperature will be synchronized together. So if I turn my temperature, you'll see that the passenger's changes as well. If we turn the sync button off, they're now totally independent to each other. So we can have 18 degrees on the passenger side and 23 on the driver's side. We can have the blower on without the aircon. If we want aircon on, we have the AC button there. And again, we can turn that off. We have the button for the heated front screen, so that will concentrate all of that air conditioned air on the inside of the windscreen to keep it nicely defogged and nice and clear for us. Then we have the rear button there, which will do the heated rear screen, and that's also tied into the heated door mirrors for us as well. And again, with both of those, you get the little icons just to let you know those have been activated. And of course our mode allows us to choose where the ventilation is coming from. If you want the car to look after everything for you, apart from you set the temperature, press the auto, because with that, when we set auto, it will figure out where is the best vents to use, and also what the best fan speed is to really maximise that. So if I want 23 degrees, press it on auto, you'll see that it changes where that actually comes through for us. And it puts it into recirculate as well. Now there is one more little bit of heating control. Now we know we've got ventilation in the rear for rear seat passengers, but we also have some on the right hand side. I shall come to that a little bit later for you. So just by my right knee we have some more buttons to go through for you. So if I start in the top left hand corner and work my way around, let's go through those. So top left hand corner is where we have the button to actually raise and lower the powered tailgate. A lovely feature. We know there are other ways you can operate it off the remote and at the back of the car, but I can also do it from inside the vehicle as well. Next one along is, it looks like a picture of a car, like a plan view of a car with a safety shield around it. So what this one is for is, it's another way to get into some of those safety features like road departure mitigation, blind spot information, collision mitigation braking system. So if you wanted to, you could turn those off. Personally, I'd leave them on, but that's how we could access that really nice and easily. Just further over, we have the parking sensor button, and when there's a green light on there, that means they're active and ready for you. So this car has them at the front and the rear, so it'll tell us how close or far away we are by its little beeps and the intensity of those when that is selected. Just below that, we have a heated wiper de-icer button. So this is a really great feature in the winter. So just below where the wiper blades sit, there's a heater element that helps reduce the likelihood of wipers refreezing in really cold weather, and it also assists me when I'm cleaning the windscreen first thing on a frosty morning. So a really great feature we've got there. And just to the side of that we have our vehicle stability assist button. So we can reduce how much it intervenes with the driving. So for instance, if we were stuck in shallow mud or snow, sometimes you might need to get a little bit of spin on the wheels to get moving. You'd press and hold that button. It would desensitize the system a little bit, and as soon as you're going, you'd press it again to re-enable it. So then moving further to the right, we have a little roller system. This is to adjust the angle of the headlights. So if you put more weight in the back of the car, if you're loaded up and you've got 3 passengers in the back, of course the car's going to dip down a little bit. You might need to adjust the angle of the headlights. Now that brings us nicely on to the controls on the door here. So again, if we use the same logic of top left and working our way down, we have the button in the top left corner which will fold the door mirrors in for us. So if we pop those back out again, to adjust the angle of the glass, we've got a little slider here that go from right, centre and left, and when we're in the desired one of those, we can use the little control panel here just to adjust the angle of the glass. Below that we have the lock and unlock button. So if I felt uneasy and I wanted to make sure that nobody could get into the car from the outside, I'd press the lock button. Then nobody can use the door handles on the outside to get in, and I can press the unlock button when I want people to be able to get in. Just below that we have the button to isolate the control for everybody except mine's electric windows. So I can operate all the windows, but actually they can't. So that's a nice little feature there. And then when we're onto these, we have 4 different controls, obviously for the auto windows on all 4 windows. If we pull it a little bit to the point of resistance, the window will come up, and as soon as we release it, it'll stop. If you pull it all the way, of course we have auto windows, so it'll take it all the way up for you. To get the very best out of your infotainment